When's the last time you thought about waterful ring toss games, scratch and sniff stickers, those pencil boxes with secret sliding compartments that never stayed closed? Yeah, me neither, until right now. Welcome back to 1980s. We all know the big stuff from the 80s. Rubik's Cube, Pac-Man, MTV. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the stuff that lived in your junk drawer, the stuff you begged for at the checkout line, the stuff that made your childhood yours today. We're digging into things you completely forgot existed in the 1980s. And I guarantee at least 5 of these are going to hit you right in the feelings. Let's remember together. Waterful ring toss games. That little handheld plastic thing filled with water and 2 tiny rings. You'd press the buttons. Watch the water swirl. Try desperately to land those rings on the posts. It never worked, but you kept trying, over and over. Every dentist office had one. Every birthday party, goodie bag had one. And you definitely lost yours under the couch within 48 hours. Koosh balls. Those rubber spaghetti balls that were absolutely everywhere. They felt weird, all those little rubber strands, squishy but firm. They bounced weird too, just kind of splatted. And they smelled like a tire factory. But you wanted one in every color: neon pink, electric blue, screaming yellow. You'd throw them at your ceiling and watch them stick for half a second. Then one day, they just disappeared. Viewmaster, that chunky red plastic thing you'd shove up to your face like binoculars. You'd slide in a cardboard reel, click the lever. Suddenly you were looking at the Grand Canyon or Disneyland's 7 images per reel, each one frozen in time. Somehow looking at flat pictures through a toy felt more magical than anything on TV. Your grandma probably had one with reels from 1972, and you'd still play with it every visit. Popple stuffed animals that folded into themselves and turned into a ball with a face and a tail sticking out. You'd flip them inside out, tuck the limbs into the pouch, and boom, instant ball. They came in wild colors: neon pink, electric purple, hot orange. Every kid had at least one shoved in their toy box, half turned inside out, stuck in some weird, liminal state. Beautifully weird and deeply impractical. Color forms: thin vinyl stick-on pieces, a glossy cardboard background, infinite possibilities. No glue, no mess, no rules. You'd press a vinyl Barbie onto a beach, then peel her off and stick her on a spaceship. Color forms came in every theme: Sesame Street, Disney, generic house sets. The pieces never stuck perfectly. They'd slide around and fall off, but that was part of the charm. Slap bracelets. One day these didn't exist. The next day every kid had 6 of them. You'd slap it on your wrist and it'd curl around like a little metal hug. The sound? So satisfying. They came in every pattern: tie-dye, neon holographic. Half of them broke within a week. The fabric would tear, and you could feel the sharp metal poking through. Schools banned them. Parents hated them. We loved them anyway. Simon 4 colored buttons, 4 tones, one increasingly difficult pattern. You'd watch it light up: beep, boop, beep, boop. Then you'd try to copy it, and fail, spectacularly. But you'd keep playing because maybe this time you'd beat your high score. Spoiler, you didn't. Mad balls, rubber balls with horrifying monster faces, peeling skin, oozing eyeballs, exposed brains. Each one had a name: Screamin' Mimi, Dust Brain, Slobulous. They were squishy, smelled weird, kind of sticky. Parents hated them. Teachers banned them from school. We brought them anyway. High-C Ecto Cooler. Bright, glowing green. Tasted like tangy citrus mixed with pure sugar and childhood. The box had Slimer from Ghostbusters on it. You'd beg your mom to put it in your lunchbox. You'd trade 2 snacks for 1 juice box of Ecto Cooler. When they discontinued it in the 2000s, a piece of childhood died. They brought it back once. It wasn't the same. Nothing ever is. Pudding pops. Frozen pudding on a stick. Chocolate. Vanilla. Swirl. Creamy cold. Smooth. Perfect. Way better than regular popsicles, which were just ice and artificial flavor. Pudding pops had texture. They had substance. Then one day, Jell-O stopped making them. No warning, no goodbye. Just gone. Hooba. Booba. Bubble tape. 6 feet of bubble gum in a tiny plastic container. You'd pop open the lid, pull out the tape like you were unrolling a fruit roll-up, bite off a chunk, chew until your jaw hurt. The flavor lasted about 9 seconds, but you felt like a rebel just carrying it around. Tab. Before Diet Coke existed, there was Tab. The pink can, the weird aftertaste, the saccharine sweetness. Your mom probably drank it. You probably tried it once, made a face, and never touched it again. It was everywhere in the 80s. Coca-Cola killed it off in 2020. Fruit wrinkles like fruit snacks, but wrinkly, chewy, fruity, shaped like tiny fruits. They came in a pouch. You'd eat the whole thing in one sitting. Then you'd feel slightly sick, but also want more. They disappeared quietly sometime in the 90s. No announcement, no farewell. Just gone. Bonkers candy, chewy fruit squares with a weird fruity center. The commercials were unhinged. Someone would eat a bonker, and a giant fruit would fall from the sky and bonk them on the head. It made 0 sense, but the candy was good. Sweet, tangy, fun. Then they stopped making them. Now bonkers lives only in our memories. Squeeze it. Plastic. Squeezable. Shaped like a weird alien bottle with a twistable cap. You'd squeeze it hard, and the juice would shoot into the back of your throat. You'd twist the empty bottle into weird shapes when you were done. Every flavor tasted vaguely the same, generically fruity. But it was ours. Fun Dip. That white chalky stick. The pouch of colored sugar. You'd lick the stick. Dip it in the sugar. Lick it again. Your tongue would turn blue or red or some unholy shade of purple-green. Your teeth would feel gritty, but you didn't care. Pure sugar, pure joy. Nerds. Candy. Tiny, crunchy, tangy little pebbles of sugar. They came in a box with 2 flavors divided down the middle, strawberry and grape, cherry and lemonade. You'd pour them directly into your mouth, crunch them, or you'd mix the flavors together like a candy scientist. Nerds are still around, but they hit different in the 80s. Trapper Keepers. 3-ring binder. Velcro closure. Folders that snapped in and out. But the real magic? The design on the front. Sunset gradients, geometric shapes. Sparkly dolphins. Neon Lamborghinis. You didn't just have a Trapper Keeper, you had an identity. The sound of that Velcro ripping open in class? Iconic. The feeling of a brand new one in September? Unmatched. Slide button pencil cases. These had like 12 compartments. Buttons on the sides, sliders on the top. Hidden trays that popped out. You'd press a button and a drawer would slide open. It felt like a spy gadget. You'd fill it with pencils, pens, erasers, a tiny sharpener, and one pen that didn't work. Within a month, the sliders would stop working. But for that first week, you felt unstoppable. Mr. Sketch scented markers. Each one had a scent: cherry, mint, cinnamon, banana, blueberry. You'd color with them, and you'd sniff them. Everyone did. The whole classroom would smell like artificial fruit and childhood. We all knew that one kid who sniffed them a little too hard, but we didn't judge. Scratch-and-sniff stickers. Stickers were already cool, but stickers that smelled? Revolutionary. You'd collect them, trade them, stick them on everything. Pizza, popcorn, strawberry, pickle. You'd scratch them with your fingernail and sniff. Usually after 3 scratches, they'd stop smelling. But those first 3? Magic. Lisa Frank. Everything neon. Rainbow leopards. Dolphins jumping through sparkles. Puppies with angel wings. Folders. Stickers. Pencil cases. Notebooks. It was everywhere. And it was loud. The colors didn't exist in nature. Pink and purple and teal and yellow all screaming at you. Your folders practically glowed in the dark. Lisa Frank wasn't just school supplies. Lisa Frank was a personality. Book covers, made from grocery bags. Your teacher handed out textbooks and said, "You need to cover these." Your mom would pull out a brown paper grocery bag. She'd cut it open, flatten it, fold it perfectly around your book. Then you'd decorate it, write your name in bubble letters, draw band logos. It felt personal, handmade, yours. Now everything's digital or laminated. But back then, we had art class every time we covered a book. Overhead projectors. The teacher would wheel this giant machine into the room and you knew something serious was happening. Big glass surface. A light bulb underneath. A long arm that projected onto the wall. The teacher would write on clear plastic with a squeaky marker. The whole thing would hum. The light would flicker. Overhead projectors were the 80s version of PowerPoint, except way louder and hotter. Pencil sharpeners bolted to the wall manual. Loud, slightly dangerous. Every classroom had one mounted by the teacher's desk. You'd stick your pencil and crank the handle. Wood shavings would curl up and fall into the clear plastic tray. Half the time your pencil would break inside and jam the whole thing. But sharpening your pencil was an event. You'd get up, walk across the room, take your time. It was a break from math, a moment of freedom. The Weekly Reader. Thin newspapers for kids, printed on cheap paper, articles about science, current events, book recommendations. You'd read them during silent reading time or fold them into paper airplanes when the teacher wasn't looking. They had puzzles on the back. Word searches, crosswords. The Weekly Reader felt important, like you were reading real news. TV test patterns. If you stayed up too late, this is what you'd see. Colored bars on the screen. Red, blue, green, yellow, white, and a high-pitched tone. Sometimes the national anthem would play first, then nothing. No 24-hour programming. No streaming. Just bars. And that tone. Somehow it felt peaceful, like the world was telling you to go to bed. TV had hours. TV had limits. Rotary phones. You didn't just dial a number. You worked for it. Stick your finger in the hole. Drag it all the way around. Wait for it to spin back. Each digit took effort. Took time. If you messed up on the last number, start over. Calling your crush was an ordeal. You had to commit. You had to be brave. Because if their parent answered, you had to actually talk to them. No texting, no backing out. Just pure, unfiltered social anxiety. Disposable flash cubes. Before digital cameras, there were disposable flash cubes. You'd pop one on top of your camera. It had 4 sides, 4 flashes total. You'd take a picture. The flash would go off, bright, blinding. That side would turn black. Burned out. 4 pictures. Then you'd throw it away. That made every photo feel special. You couldn't just take 47 pictures of your sandwich. You had to choose your moments. Floppy disks. The big ones. 5.25 inches. Actually floppy. Bendable. Fragile. You'd slide them into your computer and save your homework. Or your Oregon Trail progress. They held almost nothing, like 360 kilobytes. But back then, that was cutting-edge technology. You'd label them with a pen, stack them in a disk holder. If you bent one, lost. Near a magnet? Lost. Floppy disks were both the future and incredibly annoying. Gas station maps. If you got lost, you pulled into a gas station and grabbed a map. A huge unfolding paper map that never folded back the right way. Your dad would spread it across the steering wheel, squint at tiny roads. Your mom would point at highways. They'd argue about which route to take. Maps were chaos, maps were stress. But maps were also kind of beautiful. You could see the whole state at once, trace routes with your finger. Now, a robot voice just tells you where to turn. We've lost something metal, playground slides. In the summer, scorching hot. Your legs would burn on the way down. In the winter, freezing cold. You'd stick to them. They were tall, steep, unforgiving. No soft landings, no safety rails, no rubber coating, just metal and gravity and hope. You'd go down too fast, hit the ground. Your tailbone would hurt for 3 days, but you'd climb right back up and do it again. We survived metal slides. We survived playground gravel that was basically just rocks, and we turned out fine. Mostly. Answering machines. You'd come home. See the little red light blinking. Messages. You'd press play. Beep! Answering machines were how people left voicemails before voicemail was digital. You'd record your outgoing message. Try to sound cool. Some families had 30-second mini productions as their greeting. Now nobody even checks voicemail. But back then, the blinking red light meant someone wanted to talk to you, and that felt important. And there you have it, the stuff we forgot, the stuff we loved, the stuff that made the 80s feel like home. Some of it was weird. Some of it was wonderful. But all of it was ours. It shaped us, made us who we are. So tell me, what did I miss? What's the one thing from the 80s you completely forgot existed until just now? What hit you right in the chest and made you say, "Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in 30 years"? Drop it in the comments. Let's remember together. Thanks for taking this trip down memory lane with me today, here on Timewashed Stories. Until next time, stay nostalgic, my friends.